Kia ora koutou and welcome back to Into the Frame Hypnotherapy and Coaching with Catherine. Today I wanted to talk about another hat I wear as a New Zealand registered teacher. So I've worked as a teacher for many years, mostly in the special school system. So I've worked with many young people who are neurodiverse, but in particular those young people who are on the autistic spectrum. That is my area of expertise. And one of the things that I've done over the years is used a fantastic planning tool called path planning. So path planning isn't mine, it belongs to some wonderful people who developed it, but it's a worldwide acknowledged planning tool. Now PATH stands for Planning Alternative Tomorrows with Hope, PATH, which in itself is just such a beautiful title, Planning Alternative Tomorrows with Hope. Now it's a really creative planning tool, and it uses a process of graphic facilitation to create a shared vision of a positive future for individuals and organisations and families and teams. And over the years I've worked with some incredible young people and their whānau to develop a path plan. Now it's a beautiful piece of art. So I work with my lovely colleague Tina, who does the artwork, and it spreads right across half of the wall here, and is all about colour and picture and just recording all the information that is drawn from that meeting in a very graphic, beautiful way. And that is because it's all about that young person, or all about the team or the organisation, and particularly someone who has neurodiverse, being able to see those words in pictures and in colour is fantastic. So a path plan has very formal stages. It starts with talking about the hopes and dreams of that young person and their whānau. Now, I've also worked with young people who don't use words to communicate. They are always in the room and there for this meeting. So it's nothing about you without you is kind of the way that I roll. And if they aren't able to talk about their hopes and dreams, then their family and their whānau and the people that love them and care for them can do that on their behalf. So we start with talking about hopes and dreams. Now, that's a really big concept for some people. What will my future look like? What will the future look like? I often go and talk with the whānau prior to the meeting just to give them an idea of what it's going to be about, and give them some time to think about what the future might look like for their young person. So during that time, everyone just talks about the wonderful things about that person or the team or the organisation, and we just record all of that information and write it down and draw pictures around those thoughts. So that's hopes and dreams for the future. We then come to the next part of the process, which is just talking about some goals, a vision. What will the vision look like? So, for example, if someone says, I want to be an astronaut, and maybe that's not really going to be able to be accomplished, then we kind of bring that down and put it into a manageable kind of part of the vision. So what is it that you might need to be an astronaut? Maybe you can go and visit somewhere that's appropriate, and just bring it down into more manageable, realistic steps in that vision. Then we come right back to the beginning of the path plan, and that's where we talk about what's happening right now in that person's life. So everything. It may be that they're at school, it may be that they go for respite care, it may be that the organisation is at a bit of a stuck point and they need a little bit of support. Everything that's happening right now in this moment in that person or organisation or team or whānau's life goes into that column, and that again is represented with words and pictures. So everything that might be happening right now, that's the now column. And then we move on to who is it that we need to engage in the plan to help make it work. So people to enroll in their lives or in the team's organisation or team's in this moment. So that could be a funding organisation, it could be other people, it could be Uncle Bill who can help drive or take that person to the observatory that can see the stars, that is part of the dream of becoming an astronaut. I like the whānau or the people involved to invite whoever they choose to that meeting. Anyone that can have an influence in that person's life is really important and really welcome. I facilitate the meeting, so I kind of guide the direction of the meeting, although there are very formal stages in the path planning process. But it is up to the people who the path is about to invite who they like. So that's who do we need to enroll in your life to make some of these hopes and dreams, to make some of this vision really, really work. Then we talk about, the next column is really about acknowledging some of the things that might get in the way, that might be challenging in order to get these goals and hopes and dreams to come alive. And that may be funding situations, it may be transport, it may be health issues, but it's important just to write those things down so that they are there, and then we can see them and help kind of acknowledge that they may get in the way, and how can we help with that really, or who in the room can help with that. The next step we take is what do we expect? What do we expect in the next year? At the end of this year, what do we think might be able to be achieved from what we've talked about so far? And we record all of that again in a very colourful, graphic way. And then, so this is not just a talk fest. we then identify what we can do to start these things happening right away. So someone might say, tomorrow I'm going to make a phone call, or tomorrow I'm going to connect with great Auntie Annette, who I know will be able to help with some of the life skills that we've identified there. She might be able to step in and help with some of the cooking life skills, or whatever it might be. So wherever has been identified within that plan, we take first steps. And then what I've done from that point is just to kind of check in and make sure some of that stuff is happening. Now, these path plans have been used in the schools that I have worked in, and often with young people who are in that transition period and are getting ready to leave school. And sometimes this is the very first time that families and individuals have been asked, what is it that you want for the future? What are the hopes and dreams you have for your young person? So I also acknowledge that this can be quite an emotional meeting, quite an emotional process, and try and be very gentle and kind. I often get feedback afterwards saying that this is one of the best meetings that they've ever had. It's not like a meeting, it's not formal, it's very warm, and people just are so grateful for having that opportunity. So then my lovely colleague Tina takes this document home and makes it amazing. It becomes a beautiful work of art, and then we present in a very lovely, special way. We present this to the young person or the team or the organisation that is theirs to look at and refer to. We can revisit, and often in schools this path plan process takes the place of maybe a more formal individual transition plan, but the information can be shared and goals can be drawn from it to, particularly in the classroom, to then teach life skills or whatever it might be that we've talked about. So that document, that beautiful piece of art, becomes the property of that individual, that person. And then, as I say, after maybe a couple of months, we check in to see how things are going, give things a tweak, a nudge if they need it. But yeah, it is the most wonderful form of planning for the future. So I am a trained path planner, and I have done many of these path plans over the years. I also offered this service as part of my Into the Frame business. Please, if you choose to, subscribe to my Into the Frame channel. This runs alongside my hypnotherapy business. I also love working with young people who are neurodiverse as a hypnotherapist, and have really great outcomes, and I just love doing it. I'm very passionate about that, and we work in a different way. I understand that way. I understand. All right, so I hope this has been helpful. If you think that a path plan might work for you, your whānau, your young person, your organisation, your team, please just get in touch with me and I can give you some more information about that. All right, thank you so much for listening, and I will see you again soon. Ngā mihi. Kia ora. I just wanted to add to my path planning video that I have included a couple of photographs at the end of 2 path plans that have been done in the past. Now, I just wanted to acknowledge that these have been put there with permission of the people that they were done for.